both, because they know that the hero role and the villain role are only masks.
As an actor, you play characters, and then if you go deep enough into those characters, you realize that your own character is pretty thin to begin with, you know? And then you suddenly have this separation and go, well, who's Jim Carrey? Oh, he doesn't exist, actually.
And at a certain point, I realized, hey, wait a second, you know, if it's so easy to lose Jim Carrey, who the hell is Jim Carrey?
There's just a relative manifestation of consciousness appearing, and then somebody gave him a bunch of ideas. They gave him a name and a religion and a nationality, and he clustered those together into something that's supposed to be a personality. And it doesn't actually exist. And none of that stuff, if you drill down, is real.
And so you see behind the stage, too, there is the green room, where after the play is over and before it begins, the masks are taken off.
Dressing happens, doing hair happens, interviewing happens, and it happens without me, without the idea of a me.
You know, it's really, you know, the fact that we are already enlightened, we're already complete, and it's just realizing that you're complete. Once you realize you're complete, then this life and everything in it becomes a play of form, something to toy with and play with and make something good out of.
It's what's happening right now inside everybody is they're going, who am I? And they're depressed, you know, a lot of people, because they're trying to hold up an image in the world. And that's what depression is. You know, people go like, oh, Jim's been depressed and stuff. Well, yeah, I was depressed when I was trying to be the Wizard of Oz instead of the sweaty guy behind the curtain. But now I know that Oz is a character, you know. Everybody walks around and they go like, why am I depressed? Well, it's because you're trying to be something for the world, you know. And as soon as you let that go, better things happen, because they're just happening. And there's been a series of kind of awakenings I've had in my life, and you know, people chalk it up to depression and all that stuff. I think that, you know, grief and sadness and all those things are the ticket home to nothing. I think that was a part of the process. There's been several other awakenings, and yet still I have a lot of egoic attachments that pull my attention and focus. I think, you know, the right marriage with the right character and the right guy who's going through something is essential.
And so that behind the scene, that is to say, in reality, under the surface, you are all the actor, marvelously skilled in playing many parts and in getting lost in the mazes of your own minds and the entanglements of your own affairs, as if this were the most urgent thing going. But behind the scenes, in the green room, you always have a very tiny sneaking suspicion that you might not be the you that you...
I am bigger than this body. You know, they talk about omnipresence in church, and nobody really thinks about what that means. What it means is every cell of your body is God. Everything is God. Everything is divine. So when you do good things, when you decide to transcend the negativity and attempt to do something positive for you, for your family, you are the heart of God. You are the eyes of God. When you speak from that place, you are God's voice. And when you make a loaf of bread in this place, in this kitchen, that is a Eucharist. You're blessing people with your work. You're serving the world with your work, with your effort. That is a Eucharist. That is the body of Christ. You know? And I thank you for everything you're doing. You're amazing. You're champions. I admire you.
And neither of us exist. And we're energy. We're one giant field of energy. dancing for itself.
Dancing?
That's exactly it, and we shouldn't take it so personally, you know, because it really is just a beautiful, beautiful relative manifestation, and it's here for us to enjoy.
Thank you for your energy.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, thank you again.
sir. All right, I appreciate it.
And
We're apparently here anyway.
we're
not actually here in the absolute sense.
Yes, but we are live
And
on.
Theta Vedanta sense, we don't exist at all.
We are going through that lens on the iPhone.
Not really.
Not really.
No.
I think we are.
We're just
I
a
think
cluster of tetrahedrons
people
soaked in desperation.
Well, that part's true.
That is true.
So
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream.
There's just things happening, and there are clusters of tetrahedrons moving around together.
Okay.
That's the truth of it all.
You do believe
No matter
that?
what happens. Absolutely. I think that we have to play our parts as relative manifestations of consciousness. We're on a game grid here. This is a lovely fantasy we're going through, and I think that it's important that we play our parts. And I want to play a good one. I like to play good guys.
Right,
You know?
right.
And, you know, so you do what you can, but ultimately, you got to remember that it's not who you are. This is not who we are. You know, we're in an absolute sense every freaking thing that you see is you, and you are so, you know, beyond immense, beyond imagining. You know, so that's where I live. I live outside my body, in it too, but outside it. So I don't get hung up on what's going to happen to this character too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's a really good philosophy to have. I mean, it's really, because people are in a lot of despair.
Yeah. And I get caught up in the story like everybody else because it's really compelling at times. You know, the plot is compelling.
Right.
And you think you're going to lose something. It's just not possible. You know, whatever your circumstances are.
It means we're all going nowhere. It's a big pageant of nothing rising out of nothing and happening for no one. And once you understand that, all the pressure's off, and you can just enjoy yourself.
If you were going to go back to stand-up, and you said something about there's no Jim Carrey to sell anymore. Could you explain to me what you meant by that? I wrote it because it really stuck with me. It really resonated with me.
Well, I think that it resonates because it's the truth of everybody, you know? We spend our whole lives trying to invent ourselves and trying to figure out, you know, what this is, you know, and it's just a collection of abstract ideas, you know, from your ethnic background to your nationality to your, you know, whatever, all of that stuff, those are all ideas you've been given.
Exactly.
You know, and so where you end up at the end of it, you might be successful, but you're unhappy and you don't know why, because, oh, this thing didn't work. This is not a real thing. It's something I cobbled together. And well, then what is the real thing? And the real thing is everything.
It's so interesting that you said that. The only reason that you're Jim Carrey is because your parents called you that. You could have been anybody.
Exactly.
I always think about that about myself. I'm Jeffrey Gurian because my parents chose that name. I'm DNA. I'm a bunch of cells, man.
Yeah, and Jeffrey means go eat them up.
It's so
Jeffrey
cool.
means make us look good.
Is it kind of scary releasing this out into the world and just being so vulnerable and having this side of yourself and this, you know,
No,
exposed?
because
No.
there is no me, no self. Jim Carrey is gone, actually never existed, and I know that now. So I'm able to take gigantic chances with this thing that people know as Jim Carrey.
Hey guys, how are ya? Today we're going to be talking about the comedy legend, Jim Carrey. James Eugene Carey was born in 1962 in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada, within the Greater Toronto Area, also referred to as the Golden Horseshoe. What a lot of people don't know about Jim is his humble beginnings, the struggle and pressure for fame, and the tumultuous relationship with his father. At one point, after his dad had lost his job as an accountant, his family of 7 lived out of a VW van. They eventually were able to find jobs at a warehouse where their employer allowed them to live out of the back room. But it took a toll on Jim and his family.
When I see your biography on TV and stuff, it was so. I mean, I was kidding about it before, but it does sound kind of sad. I mean, you grew up in a car.
I like that music. Keep it going.
Your dad. I was watching either some Jim Carrey biography or something, and it was like your dad was. Don't cry.
Yeah, the lip's already going, right?
Dad couldn't hold a job. You and your whole family lived in a car and had to like be janitors together.
Yeah, but you know what? Through that,
you became the man you are today.
Yeah, we had some tough times.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But like every family,
But out of that,
those
Jim
tough
found the
times when you reach down,
yeah, No. You imagine like you're going to school.
I don't know that he went to school. I think they just...
Imagine that I'm going to school.
No, imagine you went to school, then afterwards, like all the kids see you pile out of the car with your parents, and you're cleaning the school. That's gonna be bad.
Yeah, that's
bad.
washing my hands.
Yeah, it's hard to be.
I'm brushing my teeth as I walk up to the school.
How long did you live in a car for?
It was a lot less.
Jim Carrey in a Toyota Celica.
It was.
Yeah, what kind of car was it?
It was a good 6 months.
What was the car anyway?
It was a Volkswagen camper.
So it was a camper. It wasn't like you didn't have room.
Well, yeah. Well,
I imagine.
The Volkswagen camper, they're quite plush.
Yeah, talk to the kids living in a regular Volkswagen.
Right.
The hammock that was strapped across the front seats was my place.
You really lived in a Volkswagen camper?
I really did, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it fun on any
I'm
level?
deep, man. I'm so deep.
You're dark.
No, I mean, was there any sort of like, hey, we're on an adventure kind of thing about it?
Honestly, at the beginning, well, when my father lost his job, I was pissed. You know, it was like
Sad.
one of those things. My dad, how dare the universe?
Right. He's the smartest guy in the world. How could that happen?
Exactly. For all I know, he was, just breaking pencils all day. Right. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm convinced my dad was the smartest guy in the world. Meanwhile, I realized he never made more than 25 G's a year. How smart could he have been?
Yeah, my dad made 20 grand
there you
a
go.
year at the top of his game.
But he was yelling at me that I was a bum.
Yeah.
I'm saying, what do you mean I'm a bum?
Well, the thing was, he wasn't happy. He would come home and just, that damn guy, man, I tell you, one of these days I'm gonna,
Right.
So I don't know what happened. Who knows? Maybe he was miserable there.
All you know is you ended up living in a car.
Exactly. Well, I ended up, yeah, sure, and like trying to be the adult and trying to take care of everything.
In and around that time, Jim's father started pressuring him to attend local open mic nights to pursue a career in comedy as early as 14. He had chosen not to follow his own dreams and got himself a good, safe job. It's reported that Jim's very first time performing at the club Yuck Yucks, he completely bombed, but who wouldn't at their earliest stage performances, let alone being 14 years old with a crowd of adults. You all know the funny man, thriving on attention and laughs. So it's surprising now when he's openly speaking in a very somber, profound manner. A lot of people think he's gone a bit crazy due to the recent interviews, and looking back on his past behaviors and expletives that most people took as a joke.
Wait, tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets? You need a date to the party? What's up?
I'm gonna jump in and point out why this was a really stupid question to ask right off the bat. As some of you already know, his girlfriend, Katarina White, had just recently ended her own life.
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
You got to admit, it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons.
in
Boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut her down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No, I didn't.
Was that an
get dressed
accident?
up. I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream?
There's just things happening. And there are clusters of tetrahedrons moving around together.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's happening in our world right now? Because there is a lot of news that actually is relevant that's not that
Here's
uplifting.
the thing. It's not our world.
None
That's
of this
the
is
key.
real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
Oh.